Sword Art Online is a boring dumpster fire of wasted potential. It started with an incredibly compelling premise, but rather than exploring the emotional and psychological toll of being trapped in a kill or be killed game, the series quickly shifts gears into a generic, slice-of-life romance between two of the blandest protagonists in anime. Their relationship takes center stage so fast and so clumsily that it drains all the tension from the original concept. The high-stakes premise quickly fades into the background, replaced by awkward romance scenes, trivial side quests, and an overpowered main character who effortlessly dominates every challenge. The story misses the opportunity to fully explore the world it introduced, and when other characters face meaningful challenges, their arcs are often sidelined to keep the spotlight on the lead. Characters are introduced, given a rushed backstory, and either forgotten or reduced to background cheerleaders. By the end of the first arc, Sword Art Online feels less like a survival thriller and more like a poorly paced harem show, and instead of leaning into the grit and consequences of a death game, it settles for lazy wish fulfillment and melodrama. It could have been one of the greats. Instead, it's a shallow, unfocused mess, a textbook example of a cool idea being utterly squandered. It's honestly baffling how it continues to have such a massive following, given how weak its writing and execution are. For a show that's often hyped as a genre-defining masterpiece, it barely scratches the surface of its own premise. If you actually want to watch a good death game series, skip Sword Art Online and check out Squid Game instead. The stakes feel real, the characters are flawed but compelling, and the social commentary adds real weight to the story. If you're looking for a movie similar to Squid Game, check out the OctoGames. It's basically an American take on the same concept.
A famous YouTuber named Jaxpro watched a video about octopuses. He comes up with an idea called the OctoGames. There will be 8 players and 8 games with 1 winner. Each player acts independently, but they're all part of the same overall game. The first game is Simon Says. Carrie Miller is one of the contestants, and she arrives at Jaxpro's studio. Carrie signs a contract and she hands over her phone to one of the guards. The contestants don't know what the prize will be for winning the OctoGames, but they're excited since they're going to be in Jaxpro's next video. After all of the contestants arrive, Jaxpro welcomes them and he explains what's going on. Each contestant has been invited here due to their promising social media presence. The room is full of cameras and the footage will be uploaded to Jaxpro's channel when the games are over. Jaxpro says that he'll be retiring from social media after the games are done. The winner gets Jaxpro's social media accounts, his sponsorships, and his 115 million followers. Jaxpro tells the contestants the rules of the first game. Players must follow any command beginning with the words Simon Says. If a player does a command without Simon Says in front of it, then they'll be eliminated. The last 8 people will move on to the second game. The eliminator will escort the losers away. The game begins and a guard gives the commands. A contestant messes up and he is eliminated. The eliminator takes out a sledgehammer and he kills the guy. So if players get eliminated, then they die. It's similar to Squid Game. A contestant tries to flee, but she gets shot and killed by another guard. A woman gets shot for interrupting Jaxpro since he didn't say Simon Says. Jaxpro mentions that there are 12 players left. A player gets eliminated since he's unable to stand on 1 foot. The guard shoots and kills him. The next command is for the players to hold their breath. A woman starts vomiting and the guard shoots her. A man is unable to continue holding his breath, so the guard shoots him. A woman tries to run away, but the eliminator kills her with the sledgehammer. There are 8 players remaining, and Jaxpro congratulates them for beating the first game. The players state their name and occupation to the camera. Anyone who disobeys will be eliminated. Carrie goes first. She's a singer and songwriter. Maxine Harlow, a comedian. Jess Harbody, a fitness guru. Ruth Martin, a cooking show host. Arjun Singh, aka AJ620, a video game streamer. Walter Brentwood, an entrepreneur. Stephen Randall, aka Squish, a motivational speaker. And lastly, there's Sunny McConnell, a kids TV host. A guard visits Jaxpro and she gives him the footage from the first game. Jaxpro talks to his girlfriend Luna. He's excited to finally retire from YouTube and run away with her. The players change into identical outfits and they give their old clothes to the guards. Walter sneaks some money in his pocket. Carrie is in shock and she can't believe what's happening. Sunny is crying because she doesn't think that she'll make it very far. Carrie and Maxine plan to stick together with Sunny. Ruth makes fun of Sunny since she never expected this to be so easy. AJ talks to Jess. Walter speaks to Squish and they form an alliance together. Carrie and Maxine see them.
The second game is hopscotch. The players are brought to a dark room and Jaxpro explains the rules. Each player draws a random number that determines the order they'll go in. The players must hop across to win, but if the board turns red, then they can't move. If a player moves when the board is red, then they'll get eliminated. The game ends after the first player is eliminated. Jaxpro wishes the players luck and the game begins. AJ goes first. The board turns red when he's halfway across. AJ doesn't move and he waits for the board to stop being red. AJ successfully makes it across the board. Jess goes second. The board turns red head twice, but Jess is able to successfully make it across in the end. Squish whistles something when the board turns red. Walter asks him what it is, but he doesn't respond. Walter and Carrie agree to switch numbers. Sunny goes next. The board turns red and Squish whistles. Sunny gets distracted and she moves. The Eliminator brutally kills her. Carrie speaks up, so the Eliminator hits her as well. Walter thinks that Carrie was really brave. Walter wants to join Carrie and Maxine so that they can take Squish down. Carrie and Maxine can't trust Walter, but they don't have much of a choice, so they accept him. Ruth tries to form an alliance with AJ, but he declines. Ruth speaks to Squish, but he doesn't want to listen and shoves her to the ground. Squish warns everybody not to mess with him. AJ tends to Ruth's injuries. He was in med school before he became a gamer. AJ, Carrie, and Maxine plan to look for a way out during the night. Luna uses the contestants' phones to text their families so nobody suspects anything. Jax Pro doesn't care if people realize the OctoGames are real. The third game is Obstacle Course. Jax Pro explains that this game is optional and he wants to give the players a way out. If they can make it to the end in under 60 seconds, then they can go home. No questions asked. Jess volunteers while the other players watch. AJ thinks the game is too easy, so there has to be a catch. The time starts and Jess begins the obstacle course. The Eliminator is there and will be trying to kill Jess. The Eliminator catches up to Jess, but she breaks free and escapes. Jess makes it out of the obstacle course. However, she went over the time limit and a guard kills her. The guard asks if anyone else would like to try. Carrie decides to go even though Maxine urges her not to. Carrie knows that it's risky, but it's a way out, so she has to take it since she wants to end this. But after some contemplation, Carrie changes her mind and she ultimately decides not to play the game. Luna is already packing her bags because she's excited. A guard gives Luna a plastic bag filled with cyanide. The guard instructs Luna to only use a teaspoon or else Jax Bro will taste it. It's nighttime, so AJ wakes Carrie up and they intend to escape. The Eliminator sees them, so they go back to sleep. The fourth game is musical chairs. Walter realizes that it's all going to be kids' games. Jax Pro explains that there are 5 chairs and 6 people. When the music starts, the players will walk in a circle around the chairs. When the music stops, the players must sit down in one of the chairs. Whoever doesn't sit in a chair is out and they'll get eliminated. After that, they'll play to determine the winner. Jax Pro mentions that this game has a prize. The winner will have $1 million deposited into their bank account. Maxine wonders why anyone would want the money if Jax Pro is just going to kill them. Jax Pro states that the money will go to their family. The game begins and the music starts. The music stops. Ruth and AJ are wrestling over a seat. Ruth pushes AJ away. The Eliminator comes into the room and drags AJ out. A chair is removed and the contestants play for the $1 million prize money. Walter accepts a bribe of $50,000 from Squish if he gets eliminated. Walter is eliminated and the Eliminator escorts him out of the room. Another chair is removed and Maxine is eliminated in the next round. Carrie gets eliminated next. The final round is between Squish and Ruth. Carrie is brought to another room and she sees that everyone else who got eliminated, including AJ, is alright. Jax Pro states that he wants to make the game a little more interesting. For the final round, the winner will get the prize money and the loser will die. Ruth sits in the chair when the music stops, but Squish beats her up. The other players are watching and Walter asks them to help him take Squish down. They all agree since Squish is the biggest threat and Walter thanks them. Maxine apologizes to Walter for being wrong about him. Squish is the winner of musical chairs. Ruth isn't killed and she's brought to meet Jax Pro in person. He likes how Ruth is so crazy and hires her to become a guard. Jax Pro will pay Ruth $2 million and once they're done, he'll let her go. Ruth happily accepts the job. Squish plans to give Walter the $50,000 like he promised. Squish knows that the others are trying to take him down. Squish threatens to break Walter's neck if he betrays his trust. Carrie feels hopeless about the situation. AJ tells Carrie that this isn't her fault. Carrie wishes that she met Maxine on the outside. Walter bribes the Eliminator. The fifth game is hide and seek. Squish is the only one who realizes that Ruth is the new guard. Jax Pro explains the rules of this game. The players will have 60 seconds to hide anywhere in the house. After that, the Eliminator will try to find them. The first person found is out. The countdown begins and the players hide. AJ hides between the bed and the wall. Walter hides in a closet. Carrie hides behind a chair. Squish hides next to the sofa. Maxine hides with Walter in the closet. The time is up and the Eliminator searches for the players while wielding a knife. The Eliminator is about to find Carrie, but Squish accidentally makes a noise. Carrie tries to open a window and escape. Squish gets spotted by the Eliminator, but he runs and hides in the closet with Walter and Maxine. Carrie is about to climb out of the window, but a guard comes and holds her at gunpoint. Carrie begs the guard to let her go, but he can't do it. Walter pushes Maxine out of the closet. The Eliminator finds Maxine and strangles her. Maxine calls out to Carrie and she comes running to her location. It's too late, and the Eliminator breaks Maxine's neck. Carrie is devastated and asks what happened. Walter blames it on Squish and says that he threw her out. Squish talks to Ruth. She vows to make sure that Squish loses. Jaxpro introduces Ruth to Luna. He gives her a tour of the house as well. Squish commends Walter for what he did. AJ tries to comfort Carrie. Squish is tired of Carrie's whining. He doesn't think that he did anything wrong since he's just fighting for his own survival. Jaxpro takes Ruth to his studio and he locks the door. Jaxpro needs Ruth to do one more thing for him. Jaxpro caught the guard who gave Luna the plastic bag of cyanide. Jaxpro wants Ruth to kill the guard and she does it without hesitation. The sixth game is tetherball. Walter suggests they should rush the guards, but Squish says that he'll fight every one of them if that happens. Squish doesn't want the game to end since he's confident that he'll win. AJ asks Jaxpro why it's all kids games. Jaxpro replies that kids watch his videos. Jaxpro explains the rules for this game. The players have to hit the ball all around the pole to win. There will be 3 rounds of one-on-one. It's going to be AJ versus Walter and Carrie versus Squish. The losers will then play against each other to determine who gets eliminated. The ball is metal and spiked. AJ and Walter are first. AJ knows that Walter killed Maxine. AJ wins. Next up is Squish versus Carrie. Squish states that he told Walter to kill Maxine. Walter responds that it's not true. However, he doesn't have any proof. Carrie doesn't do anything and Squish wins. Carrie lets Squish win so that she wouldn't hurt her hands and would have an advantage against Walter. The final round is Carrie versus Walter. Carrie wins and Walter is eliminated. Squish congratulates Carrie for finally catching on. Walter begs for his life, but the guard shoots him. AJ is sure that either he or Carrie will make it out alive. They're going to take down Squish. Luna mixes the cyanide in Jaxpro's drink. Jaxpro wants Luna to take a sip, but she refuses. Jaxpro forcefully pours the drink into Luna's mouth. Luna runs away, but Ruth shoots her. Ruth gives the gun to Jaxpro, and he shoots Luna again to make sure that she's dead. Jaxpro plans to leave the country after the final game. Ruth wants to go with him, and Jaxpro accepts. The 7th game is Hangman. There's a mystery phrase, and each player will take turns guessing one letter. For each letter that they get wrong, they'll receive a bigger electric shock. Whoever guesses the phrase will be released. The first person to stop breathing loses. Each player has 2 seconds per guess. After several guesses from all the players for the letters, Squish correctly guesses the phrase. Maxine lost the OctoGames. Squish is let go and it's Carrie versus AJ. They have to compete against each other. AJ doesn't say anything and he allows himself to get killed so that Carrie will win. The final game will take place tomorrow morning and it's Carrie versus Squish. Carrie knows that Squish has cheated his way through the whole game and he should be dead instead of the other people. Squish doesn't care what Carrie thinks. He'll do whatever it takes to win. The Eliminator visits Jaxpro. He's a big fan, but Jaxpro finds him pathetic. Ruth shoots and kills the Eliminator. The 8th game is Capture the Flag. As soon as the game is over, everything will be uploaded to Jaxpro's channel. The first player to hold the flag for 3 seconds wins. Killing or knocking out the other contestant is not permitted. The game begins. Carrie and Squish run to the flag. Carrie isn't able to hold on and Squish takes the flag. Squish thinks that he's won, but Carrie sees another flag. Carrie runs to the other flag and she takes it. Ruth sets Squish up with a fake flag. Carrie has the real flag. A guard shoots and kills Squish since he lost. Carrie is the winner and she's injected with something. Carrie loses consciousness and she later wakes up in Jaxpro's house. Jaxpro isn't there, but he left Carrie a note with his username and password. A guard comes and he tells Carrie that she's safe. The guard gives Carrie a smartphone. Carrie asks who the guard is and he takes his mask off. The guard tells Carrie to be careful and then he leaves. Carrie calls the police. There's a 3-month time skip. Carrie is in the middle of a call with Jaxpro. He sends her a video of himself and Ruth trying out different candy from all over the world. Jaxpro plans to return. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.
As you can see, Sword Art Online falls far short when compared to other death game-themed shows or films such as the OctoGames. While it began with a promising concept to life or death struggle in a virtual world, it ultimately failed to deliver on the tension, character depth, and world building that makes stories in this genre truly compelling instead of fully embracing its premise and exploring the psychological and moral complexities of survival under extreme circumstances. Sword Art Online sells for surface level drama and predictable outcomes, squandering the potential that initially made it so intriguing. As a bonus for sticking with us this far, let's have some fun who from the Hunger Games franchise could actually survive and win Squid Game.
Squid Game is a popular Netflix series that revolves around a group group of financially struggling individuals who participate in a series of deadly children's games to win a large sum of money. The contestants face challenges that test their physical, mental, and emotional strength. In this video, we're pitting our favorite characters from the Hunger Games film series against the ruthless death games in Squid Game. Who has what it takes to survive these grueling challenges and come out victorious? Katniss Everdeen. Katniss, a tenacious and accomplished survivor, has repeatedly demonstrated her exceptional abilities and is not one to be underestimated. Her unmatched proficiency in hunting, tracking, and archery, combined with her quick wit and unparalleled agility, would give her a significant edge in the cutthroat death games of Squid Game. Having already faced the daunting challenge of surviving the Hunger Games, a similar game of survival, Katniss is well equipped to assess and neutralize threats, exploiting her environment to her advantage. Katniss's ability to quickly adapt to new and ever-changing scenarios, coupled with her inherent talent, renders her a daunting adversary in the death games. Peeta Mellark. Peeta's odds of emerging victorious in the perilous death games of Squid Game are quite high, thanks to his past triumphs in a similar competition. The Hunger Games saw him pitted against his peers in a vicious battle to the death, testing his physical prowess, strategic acumen, and cunning. With this harrowing experience under his belt, Peeta possesses the necessary skills to tackle the daunting challenges of the Squid Game and make snap decisions to survive. In addition, his talent for forging alliances and cultivating connections with his opponents served him well in the Hunger Games, enabling him to form a cohesive unit that banded together to survive. This invaluable ability to earn the trust of others and work collaboratively would undoubtedly come in handy in the Squid Game, where cooperation and faith in others can make all the difference. Haymitch Abernathy. Haymitch, a former Hunger Games victor, possesses the skills and experience that could give him a strong edge in the deadly games of Squid Game, having previously navigated a similar high-pressure competition where children battle to the death. Haymitch has the ability to outsmart and survive opponents, which could easily translate to the Squid Game. Haymitch is renowned for his cunning and strategic thinking, always finding ways to manipulate situations and people to his advantage. With his battle-tested experience and tactical mindset, Haymitch is a force to be reckoned with, and could emerge victorious in Squid Game. Finnick Odair. Finnick's combat and strategy prowess would make him a top contender in the deadly Squid Game. As a Hunger Games victor, he proved his mettle with a trident and demonstrated his adaptability in new and unpredictable environments. In Squid Game, where only the physically and mentally agile can survive, Finnick's strengths would prove invaluable. Not only would he have a lead over the competition by understanding the high stakes of fighting to the death, but he would also bring a wealth of experience from a similar ordeal. Finnick's formidable skills and background make him a fierce adversary and a strong candidate to emerge victorious in the Squid Game. Joanna Mason. Joanna is a prime candidate to dominate the competition in Squid Game, equipped with a formidable range of skills and qualities. Her expertise in deception allows her to effortlessly decipher people's intentions and motivations, a vital advantage in a game where instincts and wit are critical for survival. Additionally, Joanna is a well-trained fighter in hand-to-hand combat, having honed her physical strength and agility in the lumber mills of her district. Her greatest asset, however, lies in her remarkable resilience and determination. Having already emerged victorious from the brutal Hunger Games, she possesses the mental fortitude and survival instincts necessary to thrive in Squid Game's cutthroat arena. Gale Hawthorne. Gale possesses the physical and mental abilities to excel in the death games of Squid Game. His hunting background has honed his agility, reflexes, and precision, which could help him navigate through the game's various challenges. Moreover, his strategic thinking and ability to make quick decisions in life or death situations can give him an advantage over other participants. His resilience and determination also make him a formidable opponent, as he has overcome numerous hardships throughout his life. Furthermore, Gale has learned how to adapt to changing circumstances, which could be essential in the unpredictable challenges of the death games of Squid Game. Rue. Rue possesses the expertise and aptitude to not only survive, but excel in the perilous Squid Game. A masterful strategist, Rue has proven her capability to outsmart adversaries when faced with life and death circumstances. With prior participation in the Hunger Games, Rue has honed the physical and psychological abilities required to conquer the challenges presented in Squid Game. She is a skilled observer, analyzing her surroundings and exploiting weaknesses to her advantage. Additionally, Rue is adept at adapting to new situations and making swift decisions, which could be pivotal in the ever-changing terrain of the game. But Rue's arsenal doesn't stop there. She is also a master at forming alliances, building trust, and empathizing with others. With these social skills, she could assemble a team and adeptly navigate the intricate social dynamics of the game. Thresh. Thresh has exceptional fighting and survival skills, making him a formidable contender in Squid Game. His level-headedness in high-pressure situations sets him apart, allowing him to make strategic decisions under duress. With his physical prowess and experience in hard harsh conditions. Thresh has an advantage in physical challenges. His analytical mind would give him an advantage in mental games like the marble game and glass bridge game. Thresh's empathy and compassion could even lead him to form alliances and work collaboratively with other players to ensure their survival. Kato, a formidable fighter trained in hand-to-hand combat, weapons, and survival skills, was groomed from a tender age to excel in the lethal Hunger Games. In Squid Game, Kato's strategic thinking and combat expertise would help him navigate the game's obstacles with ease, ensuring his victory. He possesses an unwavering mindset that is critical to his success, where he would resort to violence or betray anyone to triumph. He remains unflappable under pressure, capable of making difficult decisions. Kato's determination and resilience would not only enable him to survive, but also thrive, turning him into a fearsome adversary for anyone who dares cross his path. Clove's proficiency in hand-to-hand combat and weapon handling could be a game-changer in the cutthroat world of Squid Game. Her combat skills would prove advantageous in the physically demanding games that require precise weapon usage. But that's not all, as Clove's intellect and strategic mindset would allow her to decipher the game's complexities and strategize accordingly, giving her a definite upper hand over other players. Her inherent competitive nature would also fuel her determination to emerge as the ultimate victor, pushing her to go to great lengths, even if it means forging alliances with other players. Marvel would dominate in the Squid Game due to his unmatched combat skills honed from a young age. His physical prowess would give him a trump card in the grueling challenges. Marvel is a crafty competitor who isn't afraid to employ dirty tactics to gain an advantage, making him a formidable foe in the psychological games. What sets Marvel apart from the rest of the competitors is his proven survival skills. His previous experience with betrayal means he's less likely to trust his fellow players, making him an even more dangerous adversary. Glimmer, with her background as a career tribute, Glimmer would hold a considerable upper hand over the Squid Game participants. Unlike the regular folk competing in Squid Game, Glimmer had an extensive background in combat, survival skills, and mental preparedness for life-threatening situations. Glimmer's familiarity with the vicious nature of the Hunger Games would also grant her a psychological advantage in Squid Game. She could withstand the manipulative and fearful tactics employed by the organizers, having faced similar challenges before. By analyzing her opponents and anticipating the game's twists and turns, Glimmer would be able to make sound decisions and come out on top. In conclusion, we've explored which characters from the Hunger Games could potentially beat the Death Games in Squid Game. While it's clear that the competition is brutal and unpredictable, there are a few standout characters who could possibly come out on top. Of course, there are many factors to consider and no guarantees in the Squid Game, but it's interesting to imagine how these characters might fare in this intense and deadly competition. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.
Now, let's take a closer look at why the Mother's Rosario arc in Sword Art Online doesn't hold up and where it falls short.
Lack of stakes. The stakes in this arc are non-existent. It's very boring to watch since there's no tension or urgency. The only danger is the risk of falling asleep from the lack of excitement. Most of the time, the characters are sitting and talking to each other. If you're looking for a thrilling plotline, then you should look elsewhere because you won't find it here. Emotional manipulation. This arc is designed to tug at viewers' heartstrings, but the attempts to do so are over the top and disingenuous. It's akin to watching a really bad soap opera where the actors are trying too hard to make you feel something. It's difficult to take things seriously when it's blatantly obvious that you're being played like a fiddle. Too much filler. The writer must have taken a page out of the Hobbit trilogy's book and decided to stretch things out for as long as possible. It's as if the writer was being paid by the word or something. The result is an arc that takes forever to get to the point. Repetitive themes. This arc explores the exact same themes as the previous arcs. Seriously, how many times do we need to hear about the power of friendship and the importance of cherishing the time we have with loved ones? Overpowered Kirito. Thankfully, Kirito isn't the main focus of this arc. But despite that, Kirito is still way too overpowered whenever he appears on screen. He's able to single-handedly beat an entire guild of players. Underdeveloped characters. What's the point of introducing new characters if you're not going to bother fleshing them out? It's like watching cardboard cutouts sit around and spout off one-dimensional dialogue. The writer clearly forgot that characters are supposed to have personalities. Predictable story. This arc follows a predictable trajectory, and there are no surprises. It's as if the writer took a checklist of generic story beats and ticked them off one by one. Inconsequential storyline. You could skip this arc entirely and not miss anything important. It's similar to a side quest in a video game that you don't really need to complete to finish the main story.